Hello and welcome to another episode on Minutes with Yemoline. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me from. How is everyone doing? First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to all those that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. And those that are yet to subscribe, we're waiting for you. We can't wait for you to be here. My name is Ajiboye Adeyemi Abigail, and here I talk about marriage, relationship, and life in general. So today's topic is keeping silent and playing the fool. I think a week ago or less, I think a week ago thereabout, I saw a video where a woman said she was asked how she has kept her marriage for 39 years, and she said she has kept her marriage by playing the fool. And some people were like, oh yes, what a mother. Some people said otherwise in the comment section. But for me, I feel playing the fool and keeping silence in marriage is never a good way for a marriage to last. It might have been a tactic that must have worked for some people in their marriage, but it doesn't work for everybody in their marriage. Because like I said, the last time I did a video here, I said I had written out some points, and today also I researched and did some points as well, and I'm going to be sharing that point with you. First, when your spouse annoys you and you keep silent and you keep all that pain and anger, you decide to keep silent about it. Those anger and pain are residing somewhere, which is in your heart, and they become a burden for you. And keeping silent in marriage, when you start having children, it's something they pass on to their children without knowing. Because you kept silent so long, every time you have an issue with your husband or your wife, you say, I'm going to keep silent, I'm counting it for you, I'm going to keep it in my mind, and all of that. At the point when you start having children and your children starts growing, you start feeding them with those negativity. You start telling them, I've kept silent too. There was a time your daddy did this. There was a time your mommy did this. And the question that will be on that child's mind, and why didn't you talk to mommy or daddy about it? No, I decided to keep silent too, so that peace will reign. So that peace will reign at that time. But it's now a problem in the future where you're feeding your child that negative emotion, and then you say, when you get married, make sure you keep silent too. It's just a normal thing we do in order for us to keep our marriage. And then you start instilling timidity in a child that is growing. You start making, maybe when I get married, I shouldn't be open, I should keep quiet when there's an issue. And that child also takes on that same issue, and then when his child starts growing up, starts telling the child the same thing. You keep silent. And there are some that they give the advice the opposite way. Some parents give the advice in the sense that me, I kept quiet in my own marriage, and I played the fool. You better not play the fool. When you get married, make sure you talk, make sure you stand your ground, make sure you tear eye, make sure you come up with they say a whole lot of things, and at the same time they are feeding those children negative things. I was talking to a guy, and he said the reason why our mothers they have kept their marriage longer over the years, and they've been able to stay. Girls of nowadays, they are not staying in marriages. And when they say things like that, I feel, yes, if you ask our mothers, if you sit them down and ask our mothers and fathers that how did they keep that marriage, you hear a lot of things you're not even supposed to know, or things you didn't know they existed. You hear your father might say, your mother offended me years back, but I just kept quiet so that the marriage would keep going. Your mother would say, your daddy offended me, or probably your dad cheated on me, and then I decided to keep quiet so that the marriage would keep going on. And then when you listen to those kind of statements, you find out that at some point they were just tolerating each other. There was no love. They didn't talk about these things. They kept it in their mind, and they just kept managing each other and just pushing it and pushing it. What is wrong? I don't know. I feel I want to have a marriage where at our old age, we'll tell ourselves we don't bear any grudges against each other. We just love each other. And that's what has kept us. Yeah, people say love is never enough. But I feel love is always the basics. or is the base or the foundation after God. You should, if you don't love somebody in the first place, you wouldn't want to be with somebody. So I don't know why people say love is not enough. Love might not be enough, because at some point you might fall out of love. But that saying, when they say you fall out of love, when you want to build that marriage back, is it not, you think about, what do I love in this person? That love still comes to play. So I don't know why people say love is not enough in marriage. Yes, finances, the things of the world, finances, money, houses, cars, we have to be emotionally involved. If you don't love somebody, you won't be emotionally involved with the parent, with the person rather. Playing the fool in marriage and keeping silent has raised damaged men and women today. You hear a guy say, my dad used to make my mom feel uncomfortable. My mom used to make my dad feel uncomfortable, and she kept quiet all this while. For me, I won't keep quiet. Any lady that gives me hot, I give her hot. Same thing, a lady, the mother will cry. Your father has offended me over the years, but I've been keeping quiet, just saving the marriage because of you children. See, at the end of the day, all those negative emotions is damaging those young people. They go into marriage with, some go with feisty attitude. I'm ready to give him hot. Some go with timidity. They can't talk to their spouse. They can't talk to them about sensitive information, because they feel, the whole thing I've learned growing up, my mom said I have to be quiet. I don't have to open my mouth. I have to stay calm. Even in situations where I'm supposed to open my mouth and tell, you know what, my husband or my wife or my love, I don't feel comfortable with what you said to me. I'm not happy about what you said to me. I feel when someone creates a rule where when we quarrel, no matter how much we quarrel throughout the day, at night we should talk about it, forgive each other, and go to bed. It's something that I look forward to practicing as much as I can in my marriage, where I can quarrel with my husband all day, and then at night we talk about it and we go to bed and we forgive each other. We don't take it to the next day. But it's going to be very difficult when you have children, because you have to also pay attention to your children, and most times you might not spend the night with each other. But whichever way you can do it, make sure you resolve that issue before going to bed at night. I'm not a fan, yes, I'm not a fan of divorce. Sorry, I'm picking up my points while I'm bending and coming up. I'm not a fan of divorce. Divorce is not a Christian-like kind of thing. But I feel sometimes what people waste their time going to marriage counselor, our marriage is falling apart, we want to be, is because of so many silence and unsaid things. Then you notice when they get to the counselor's office, you start hearing things of, 5 years ago, he did this to me and I wasn't happy about it. The question is, did you talk about it? And then the counselor is collecting money and just telling you, okay, air out your views, air out your pain. You guys should talk to yourself. That's something you should have done in the house. Where, okay, the person offended you now, and you call the person, look, I'm not happy about this. Let's talk about it and move on. The way you said it to me, I wasn't satisfied with it, or how you came about it, I wasn't. Talk about these things, resolve it, so that you don't say in 5 years ago, you offended me and I have not forgiven you. And we are living together, we are sleeping together, we are breathing the same air together, we eat together, and you are having a grudge, or you are keeping a grudge against me. It's a terrible thing. I've listened to elderly people talk, I've listened to young people talk, I've listened to everybody talk, and what I deduce, or what I've gotten from, sorry, my words, what I've gotten from all those things they've said is keeps rolling back to one thing. So many unsaid things. There's so many things they haven't said to each other. And I ask my question, why do we keep this silent? It's not easy. Like I always say, I do not know it all. This is just my own opinion, something I've thought about, because I'm a deep thinker as well. So when I see or listen to things, I analyze it in so many ways. I think about it. I sit down, I think and think and think, like they're paying me salary for thinking, but nobody's paying me salary for thinking. But I think so that I can understand why are things done like this. Trust me, I'm human. I do not know it all. It's difficult for me as well. The things I say here, I try to listen to myself again, try to practice what I am preaching, you know. But like I said, this is my opinion. Someone might see it otherwise. Yes, there are so many unsaid things in marriage. So many unsaid things. There are things that probably a family member must have done, someone must have said to you, you know, and instead of, or something you must have heard. Yeah, basically it's always something you must have heard about the spouse, and you people don't sit down and talk about these things. And at the end of the day, you start hearing 10 years ago someone told me this about you. I didn't want to believe, but I just held it in my mind. Why the hell are you holding it in your mind? Why not call the person and talk to the person? Look, I think I've noticed, or I've heard, yeah, sometimes how you send out an information can cause more trouble or can cause more harm than good. But always know that whenever you're trying to talk to somebody about something you must have heard or something they must have done, try to pick the right time to say it. Okay? And let us stop keeping silence in marriage. I don't know why we are, because it's a lifelong thing. I don't know, I'll be a long life thing. I don't even know how to put the word, but it's something that is forever, that is supposed to be forever. So if you have forever to go, why keep grudges? Why keep things in your mind and you don't talk about it, and then 5 years to come or 10 years to come, you start opening old wounds? I think we should learn to talk about these things and move on from them so we can all have a beautiful life and a beautiful marriage. This goes as well in relationship and also in friendship. If you're friends with someone and you're angry about something, talk about it so you guys can move on. If you have a relationship as well, if you intend that relationship to go far, to go into marriage, then talk about these things. When you're angry with someone, you talk about it so that you all can forgive each other and move on. There's nothing sweet like a sweet as forgiving each other and moving past something. So this is all I have for you today. Like I said, a very big thank you to all those that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you. And if you just, this is the first time of stumbling across my video, please listen to me, share out your opinion with me, and subscribe as well so you can always hear from me again. So this is all I have for you today. Bye and have a lovely day.